Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. This is going to be just a collective message where we're going to see what comes out on this one. We start with the Queen of Swords energy. So we could have a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, possibly a divine feminine who is going through some kind of a transformation. You notice that she has butterflies all around her, and her sword is actually kind of glowing. She may be offering some kind of explanation. I will say this. Oh my gosh. Normally I start these ones out with some anecdote, something real that happened pertaining to my dog. Aries has been the most talkative boy ever lately. I feel like he has a whole new set of doggy vocabulary because he has full on dog conversations, many of which are rude comments, I believe. But maybe a Queen of Swords is ready to talk. Hopefully not as rudely as maybe my boy does sometimes, but there's a desire for communication. Actually, it seems like it's a desire for communication about love. Doesn't matter if we're talking about a masculine or a feminine necessarily. It's just somebody who would be in the energy of the moon, meaning the gravitational pull, also the nurturing energy. So this could be a masculine just as easily who needs to say, I love you, needs to express something on their heart. Even here we had butterflies, and now we have like this moth flying free. I'm thinking that this is something dusty. This is something old. This is something that I'm picturing somebody up in an attic, like taking the dust cloths, off of stuff. And it's just, you shake it and then you get to the stuff underneath. And we have the Hermit. We may have a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius who is something has changed inside of them, and this has been a long time coming, but they're finally ready to express how they feel, possibly about a Virgo. The introspection is the Hermit. So it is possible that there has been great silence between these characters. And this very much feels like it's been like off world. It's been something that there has been tremendous amounts of distance, time, space, no contact. I mean, certainly the Hermit has not spoken to the Queen of Swords. Let me just ask about the Hermit here. Spirit of Swords, which is actually the King of Swords, and yikes. Okay, so somebody got mad, and we're going to say it was probably the Hermit, had to boss up at one point. This should have been a couple, okay? But you notice that the eyes are glowing. Absolutely, like I've got X-ray vision. I can see everything that you've been hiding. You notice that we have a couple moons in the sky along with the butterflies. You see that this character is holding their sword almost across their body, like protecting themselves. I'm going to say that this Hermit unfortunately had to figure something out about this air person. They pushed them into their masculine energy of having to stand up for themselves, having to protect themselves. We have a Queen of Pentacles. This Hermit person could be the Queen of Pentacles, who's, a divine blend of masculine and feminine, as every character is, but they may really have been kind of like forced into finding out some kind of hidden truth, which then made them protect themselves. Those glowing eyes are the only thing that makes me think that there was a smoldering, like, wow, I can't believe that this is what I found out. They didn't handle it rude. They didn't handle it mean, but they may have said very abrupt words. Six of Wands. And then they promised themselves that they would move forward and they would, go on to be successful. I feel like the Hermit said their final piece and then went into silent mode. We have the Nymph of Wands as well, which is, sorry, I've got to cover her because I didn't draw a bikini top on her yet. But this is the Page of Wands. I'm thinking that, to me, this feels like somebody said their piece, protected themselves, and announced, I'll move on and I'm going to be better and I'm going to be fine. And I'm going to find something that makes my heart happy. I'm going to pursue things that I care about. I'm going to make my life really good and really abundant. It almost feels like our character had to express that. So they didn't come across as mean, but they definitely, this is the way the Hermit exited stage left. When the silence was created, it's like, from here on out, I'm not going to talk to you anymore because I found out your secrets. I'm going to go ahead and not let it impact me. I'm going to go ahead and be strong. I'm going to move on. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to turn my attention elsewhere. it's kind of like they vocalized what their promise was to themselves, how they're not going to let this wreck them. Okay, so hang on. The only reason I suggest that there were secrets is because of those double moons and the glowing eyes. Let me just see. Were there secrets on behalf of whomever is playing the role of that Queen of Swords? Death card is here. The Death card is an ending with a transformation, and this person's face is missing. I don't know. And we have, the saying, like, don't beat a dead horse. Don't ever beat a horse, period. But that's a common saying. And we have like the skeleton of a horse. I'm thinking that if there were secrets, it's that this person never showed their true face. Something around this air person, they didn't show their true face. And I'm thinking that trying to get them to explain something, it was just too much. It's like, why am I going to keep hounding on this? They're never going to tell me anything real. We have a 7 of Cups. Yeah, so much confusion. We have the Justice. We have the 8 of Swords. There was something very murky going on here. So this should have been a couple, right? We should have had the King and the Queen of Swords. But the Queen of Swords, who is now having this, like emotional urge to come forth and give this love offer that has been all dusty and tucked away in the attic. At one point in time, the reason things ended with them had something to do with they like created confusion anywhere they went. They maybe were never sure about what they wanted, so they tried to keep options open. Maybe they intentionally made things confusing, contradicting. It's something here about it was really unfair because they were making the other person feel very stuck. And I think that that's where the other person, this King of Swords, who turns out the King of Swords is also our Queen of Pentacles, it made them withdraw and say, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to move on where I can be happy, where I can feel successful, where I don't feel like somebody's playing with my heart, playing with my emotions. Let me go back over here and just ask, why did this first person, this one who now wants to nurture the connection, why were they creating confusion? We have the World and we have the 6 of Pentacles in the reverse. I definitely feel like this is one of those simple, straightforward. They didn't really want to give to this connection, but they didn't want the connection to go away. They wanted to still have like new beginnings elsewhere. They were hedging bets. They might have been trying to figure out what they wanted their next chapter to be, or when they wanted to start a new chapter. But right at that point in time where they should have already been in a connection with the Queen of Pentacles, King of Swords person, they were trying to keep big, huge, broad world opportunities for themselves, and then just saying, yeah, I want this person, but I want them for later. They're a soulmate. I'll come back to them later, but I don't want to give to them now. And I think that if they had just been honest and said, I really want you for myself for later, but I'm not going to give you anything right now, because what is it that they wanted? Hang on. What was it with the World card? Did they want to just like explore the world, or were they still wanting to date around, or were they, the Tower? There's something here about them. There's something about an ego. There's something about they wanted some kind of freedom. 5 of Swords. I don't know. It's like this person didn't want to be in a connection at all at that point in time. And they damn sure didn't want somebody else to like have an expectation of them. It's like they wanted to come and go as they pleased. They didn't want to share their energy, even with a person that they said, oh, you're amazing, you're my soulmate, and later on I'm going to want to be with you. So I think that they probably breadcrumbed this connection, strung this individual along, made it really confusing instead of just being open and honest, because they didn't want this person to get away, right? They didn't want this person to get away, but they didn't want it right now either. So they made it really confusing, got this person all tangled up. No wonder that King of Swords ended up with glowing eyeballs and said, I figured out your secret. You're playing games. I figured it out. Well, you go ahead and you play with whomever else you want, but you can't have all of my, everything I would have given, everything I would have, shared. You tried to keep me like dangling along some, you got me hooked, and then wanted to keep me forever on your hook. I'm picturing like a fish that somebody's not reeling in, but they're not going to they're not going to cut the line and let that person be free. This is what the Queen of Swords did. Now, again, this could be a masculine or a feminine, but they just come across now as somebody very nurturing, somebody who wants to say, now I want to give you my cup of love. Now I want to offer you my cup of love. But once upon a time, I wanted time to hold on to you while I changed other things in my life. And I didn't want to tell you that I wasn't going to be giving to you or couldn't give to you. I wanted to string you along and not let go of you, but I had to keep you confused because it's the only way I could keep you hooked, keep you stuck. I mean, look at this. Like they wanted this person to be trapped. They wanted the ivy vines to grow around it. And if you've ever tried disentangling ivy that's, grown up around a tree, it's really tough. It's a lot of work because it really like insinuates itself into the tree bark. And I feel like that's what they wanted. They wanted to hold on to this we'll say the hermit person, okay? Because the hermit person is the King of Swords, who is also the Queen of Pentacles. The hermit person figured it out and pretty much called it what it was and bounced. I don't know exactly what they were working on, what that Queen of Swords person was working on. Maybe they did just want to keep their options open for a while, but this almost hints that they were in the middle of saying that they were disentangling from something else when in fact they were having a new beginning, possibly with somebody who could make their life a living hell. I feel like they were hiding, definitely they were hiding a secret about somebody else is what it seems like, or something else. It doesn't have to be like a romance. Yeah, and I say all this and we have the moon, which is what's hidden. They were still entangled in something that they were working on changing, but they wanted to hold on to this person that they were going to love later, but they weren't going to give anything to. So they were hoping that they could get somebody hooked on them. They could get this hermit person hooked on them and preserve this hermit person for themselves for later. Meanwhile, they hid this other chapter of their life that they were still dealing with. Can we see now what that was? 5 of Cups. I don't know. This is so confusing because they have somebody who's pissed off at them. They have somebody that they're sad over, or a situation that they're sad over. They have something that they're trying to start a new beginning with, but it's falling apart, but they're trying to transform it, but they're hiding it and it's a mess. This almost to me feels like they were trying to fix some relationship with a family group, like heal some connection with somebody else. It doesn't look like it was about romance. It looks like it could have been family related though. Messenger of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. They were so much more concerned with some other chapter of their life. That's all I can see. They were so much more concerned with some other chapter of their life. Maybe they were trying to heal a connection with like a child, a pretty grown child or something. And that's where they just wanted to be like, changing their life, changing the relationship between themselves and a child. I only suggest that because the messenger can be a kid. It's really hard to figure out what the heck they were doing when they play so many games, when there's so much hidden, when there's so much that they used a lot of real shady tactics, and I don't see anything coming out very clear. Okay, universe, do you want to just maybe give me the clarity that I'm not finding on this? Does it matter to figure out what this person was hiding, or really why they strung the hermit along? The Judgment. In this case, the universe says, look, it's time to just make a judgment call, especially if this has gone on and on and on. And I want to say that the hermit person got hurt again and again and again by this confusion that they probably dealt with. We have a 4 of Wands, but there is an energy of like illusion on this. I don't know. The universe is saying if there's going to be a new beginning, if there's going to be a reconciliation, or if there's going to just be a letting go This is important right now to make a decision about what's going to happen from here on out. The reason this character did the things that they did in the past, I don't even know if we can fully comprehend, but they're coming in with a love offer at this point. And the universe is like, either this is something that now they're ready to give their all to it, and this could be a love situation, or it's time to let this go completely because it's all an illusion. We have a Two of Wands, we have a Five of Pentacles. You know, I gotta say, it almost looks like our hermit person would say, oh, it makes me want to run. If I'm going to hear from this person, honestly, it just makes me want to avoid them and run away from them. I don't want to deal with this anymore. If I got a choice between dealing with them again or running away, I'd rather run. King of Swords. I think that the hermit might have realized that I don't want them back under any circumstances. That's how it's feeling. Okay, which would mean if that's how the hermit feels about this, then what is this Queen of Swords person going to be coming in to say to them? I mean, what action could they possibly take? It says Page of Pentacles. Remember, they're coming in with a love offer. They're coming in with a very dusty, old, moth-eaten love offer, something that should have been given a long time ago. They're coming in with a very small offer of like, kind of like, could we start again? Would you hear me out? Can I offer you something? Ace of Pentacles. Can I offer you and me a brand new beginning? So they're coming in with a love offer, and then the acknowledging that what I desire is a brand new beginning. Could we start again? But it looks like our hermit person is like wanting to run for the hills and saying, why would I ever, what would make me want to give you a second chance when everything was an illusion in the past? And their response seems to be, I know, but it's different now. Now, you know, it can be you and me, you in the sidecar. I'll get us out of this mess. Six of Swords is moving out of troubled waters into calmer. I don't know. The fact that we had so much confusion in the past, and honestly, this storyline did not clear up any of it for me. I see this as a big ball of confusion. Is there any one particular single thing that this character can do to explain why they tried to keep the hermit stuck and why they didn't give to the hermit? Because that's the real problem. That's why the hermit's like, why would I want this? There's nothing that I saw in the way you treated me before that made any sense. I don't know why you did what you did. And it says they may have been married. That might have been their secret. They were still married, and they were trying to end a marriage connection. That's why they tried to string the hermit along until they could get something closed out. That's probably why we had all of these, you know, the secrets, and we had all of the leaving things confused, and all of this not wanting to answer, you know, questions, and why we had the Justice card. It was probably a legal battle. They were married in the past, so they started out on a false premise. Well, are they going to admit that? Is that going to be talked about? Page of Cups in the reverse says possibly not. They don't want to have to apologize for that or address that. Hang on, let's go to a part 2 on this one. I think I'll give you guys a free link there underneath. All right, thanks.